Hey guys, welcome to Lexa Academy where we make English past questions simple, clear, and even fun. And of course, with your favorite online English teacher and exam coach, Alexandra. So today we are tackling 20 NECO English past questions that could possibly show up on your paper. So the 2025 NECO GCE is set to begin on Wednesday, 26th of November 2025. So that's about 7 weeks away, right? So it's time to study smart, not hard. So get your pen and your paper ready. Let's begin. Question 1. So choose from the options letter A to E the one that has a different stress pattern from the other four. Now, before you solve this question, you should know that this is where many candidates lose marks, but not you after this video, because I'll be exposing 3 hacks that examiners don't want you to know. Are you ready? Now, first things first, stress pattern equals to which syllable is louder in a word. That is, which syllable is emphasized in a word. Now, the first hack. Most 2-syllable verbs are stressed on the second syllable. Behold, the cold, enjoy, explore, attend. Second syllable. Now the second hack will blow your mind. Are you ready? Okay, so if the 2-syllable is an adverb or a preposition and it begins with letter A, don't stress it. I give you the permission to stress the second syllable. Okay, ahead, aloud, above, about, against, again, afar. Okay, so stress the second syllable. Now the third hack, compound nouns are stressed on the first syllable. Goalpost, sunlight, classroom, blackboard. Okay, first syllable. Now, if examiners don't want to smile, we'll give them one. Okay, so let's go to the options. Option A, ahead, second syllable, aloud, second syllable, behold, second syllable, the cold, second syllable, goalpost, first syllable. So goalpost is the answer to this question because it has a different stress pattern. Now, examiners want to play another mind game, okay? So what you need to do is shift your focus from the options with words to the options with letters, okay? And that makes option B, which has E, the answer to this question. So from the options letter A to E, choose the one that is the most appropriate interpretation of the expression in italics. Okay, so cover his tracks is italicized. Now, before you solve this question, I want you to know that if you take this expression literally, you will lose your mark. So let's crack this together. Okay, so the first step is you want to read the context and understand what is going on. And the second step is you want to eliminate wrong options. So let's start with the first step. After Oduak had killed his wife, he attempted to cover his tracks by making her death appear like suicide. Now, what is going on here? Okay, you see that it does not mean covering your footprint. It means covering, concealing, hiding evidence. You don't want people to discover what you've done. You don't want people to discover the truth. Okay, so let's eliminate the wrong options. Option A, cover the face of his dead wife with a tracksuit. This is a literal meaning. We are looking for a figurative meaning. Okay, an idiomatic meaning. Okay, so option B, decide to raise an alarm. This is opposite of covering evidence. Okay, option C, insisted on killing himself too. This did not happen in the context. Okay, it's not in the context, it's not in the sentence. Option D, try to hide what he had done. This is the answer to the question because cover his tracks means to conceal, to hide evidence. Okay, option E was embittered about the act. This is not the meaning of the expression. So that makes option D the final answer to this question. Question 3. Choose from the options letter A to E the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the underlined letter. Now, before you attempt this question, I must tell you this. Don't let English letters deceive you. Sometimes the same letters don't make the same sound. So let's test it with this question. Now, here's the hack. Ignore letters, listen for sound. Okay, so there are 2 steps involved in solving this question. First, you need to identify the target sound, and the second step is to eliminate wrong options. Okay, so the target sound is eh. You can see letter E is underlined in the word bed. Okay, b, eh, d. So we are looking for eh. So option A, we have paid. Okay, listen for sound, p, a, and d. So A is a diphthong. It is different from eh. So when you see the sound, know it's a diphthong. It can be separated. Okay. Option B, people. So we have p, e, p, and so is an upside down e. Okay, so it's different from eh. It's a different sound. Okay, so option C, we have pray. So we have p, a, and d. Okay, it's different. Okay, so we have a diphthong here as well. Okay, option D, we have key, k, e. Okay, so it's the same pronunciation with k-e-y, key. Okay, option E, said, listing for sound, s, eh, and d. So we have the eh sound in said. Okay, so that makes option E the final answer to this. So choose from the options lettered A to E the one that contains the sound segment represented by the given phonetic symbol. So note this, English sounds don't always match spellings. Okay, so let's find out which word actually has the E sound. So the given phonetic symbol is E. It's a long vowel sound. How do I know this, or how do we know this? The colon beside it. Okay, every time you see a phonetic symbol with the colon beside it, just know that it's a long vowel sound. So option A, we have kill. This has the short E sound. Okay, option B, leave, also the short E sound. Option C, we have say, S and A is a diphthong. Okay, theoretically we can't separate. Whenever you see this sound, just know it's a diphthong. Okay, option D, we have sweet. Okay, same pronunciation with SWEET. Okay, so this is the answer to the question because it has the long E sound. Option E, we have wheel. This has a short sound. Now let me give you a hack. So most times the short vowel sound E is usually represented by letter I as in kill, leave, will, and sometimes letter E as in be, while the long vowel sound E, the phonetic symbol given to us in this question, right, is most times represented by letter EE as in feel, as in sing, and EA as in beat. Okay, now what we have in option D is sweet. You can consider this as an exception. So examiners know that this word is one of the common mispronounced words among Nigerians, and that's why we have it here in the first place. So you need to unlearn what you know and relearn. Okay, so this word is pronounced sweet. Okay, same pronunciation with SWEET. Question 5. So choose from the options lettered A to E the one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the word or expression in italics. Okay, so examiners love to play with opposites, but let's find out which word is truly the opposite of adequate in this sentence. Now, I want you to follow 3 major steps. The first is identify the meaning of the word as it is used in the context. Now, examiners want to know if you can identify the meaning that is most active. Okay, step 2 is to determine the options that are trap. Okay, these options are not direct opposites, they are there to confuse you. You need to be able to identify them. Step 3 is to eliminate the wrong option. So we're going to do step 2 and 3 simultaneously. So let's go. So we want to identify the meaning of the word as it is used in the context, right? Adequate, here we can see either to, an adverb, we can see fuel supplies. So this tells us that adequate means sufficient. It means, enough. Okay, so adequate can mean satisfactory, adequate can mean acceptable, it can mean sufficient, enough. But the most active meaning in this context is what? Enough, sufficient. So let's go to option A. Enough is synonymous. Okay, so this is not the answer to this question because we are looking for opposite in meaning. Option B, inconvenient means not convenient. Okay, so this is not related, right? We go to option C. Insufficient, not sufficient. This is the direct opposite of adequate in this context, and so this is our answer. Now let's go to option D. Rationed, it means controlled. This is a trap. Okay, it is not the direct opposite of adequate. Okay, option E is also similar to rationed. Restricted means limitation, it implies limitation. Okay, it is not the direct opposite of adequate in the sentence. So the final answer to this question is option C, insufficient. Okay, now here's the hack, guys. Identify the meaning that is most active in the sentence and don't let similar words like restricted, ration to confuse you, because examiners set those as traps. So final answer to this question is option C, insufficient. Question 6. So choose from the options letter A to E the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the underlined letters. Now examiners won't tell you this, but trust me, I will. Okay, spellings will deceive you, but you see sounds don't lie. Okay, so let's find out the word that has the same vowel sound with the word alone. So the given word is alone, letter A is underlined, and this is a special sound. It has a special name called schwa. Okay, it's a weak or lazy sound. More like do you get? Okay, so I have a special hack for you. Okay, in fact, hacks, are you ready for them? Okay, let's go. Now the first hack is whenever you see words ending with or or er, they are almost always the schwa sound. Okay, doctor, actor, visitor, manager, father, farmer, brother, sister, rather, other, schwa sound. Okay, now the second hack has to do with stress pattern. Okay, now the syllables with the schwa sound do not always carry stress. They are not always stress. It doesn't carry the primary stress. Okay, so you can do your research and look for exceptions for me. I'll be waiting. Okay, so option A, we have doctor. This is the answer to this question. Or is the schwa sound. So it is not doctor. Okay, option B, we have found. Ow. Option C, hard. Option D, more. It is a long vowel sound. Option D, pear. It is a diphthong, ear. Okay, so final answer to this question is definitely option A, doctor. Question 7. So complete the statement with the most appropriate of the options lettered A to E. So what do you do when life or exam don't give you everything you need? Let's see if you know this one. Okay, so before you solve this question, there are two major steps. Okay, first, spot the clue. Second, eliminate the wrong options. So let's start with the first step. If you don't have all you need for your cookery lesson, you should dash. What is the clue? Don't have all that you need. This means limited resources, missing resources, inadequate, insufficient, right? Resources, okay? So option A, assimilate. It means to understand or absorb. Doesn't fit. Option B, constitute, means to form or make up. Doesn't fit. Improvise means to make do with what you have. This makes sense and this fits this context. Invent is to create something new from scratch. Doesn't fit. Renovate is to repair, to restore. So if you don't have enough resources, what do? You make do with what you have. So definitely option C is the final answer to this question. Question 8. So choose from the options lettered A to E the one that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the underlined letters. So this is a sneaky consonant question and 95% of candidates rush it and fail. So we're going to slow down and get it right. So the given word is refined. Letter F is underlined and it is F. So this is a voiceless sound. Now here's the hack. Whenever you see PH, think of F. Okay, so don't let examiners fool you with the spelling trick. Okay, so we have phone, elephant, alphabet, trophy, emphasis, PH. F. So the answer to this question is option A, phantom. Okay, so what we have in option D and E is the voiced counterpart. Okay, so what do I mean by this? The upper set of your teeth comes in contact with your lower lip to produce the sound F, voiceless, V, voiced. Okay, so final answer to this question is option A, phantom. Question 9. From the options lettered A to E, choose the one that is the most appropriate interpretation of the expression in italics. You need to always think beyond the literal meaning with idioms. So when we speak of new blood, it's just a fancy way of saying fresh talent. So infused new blood is an idiomatic expression that means, fresh energy, idea, people. It does not mean blood transfusion literally. Okay, so let's take a look at the options. Option A, members of the team would undergo blood transfusion. This is not the answer to this question because this is a literal meaning. We're looking for the figurative meaning. Okay, option B, members of the team will be tested to determine their fitness. This is not the answer to the question. Option C, new players will be recruited to strengthen the team. This is the answer to the question. Okay, so option D, old members of the team would be served blood tonic. to make them perform better. This is not the answer to the question. Option E, the coach was not satisfied with the performance of the team. This is not the answer to the question. So final answer to this question is definitely option C. So are you ready to outsmart your examiners? Let's do this. So the word is seat. EA is on the line. It's a long vowel sound E. So we are looking for E. Okay. So option A, we have feet. Okay. So this is a short vowel sound E. Okay. So this is not the answer. Option B, we have great. A. It's a diphthong. Okay. Whenever you see this sound, it is a diphthong. Theoretically, you can separate. Okay. Option C, we have jeopardy. We have three vowel sound in jeopardy. Eh, which is not what we are looking for. Which is not what we are looking for. And E, which is the short vowel sound, right? So option D, we have people, right? This is the answer to the question. It has a long vowel sound E. Option E, we have pleasant. Okay, so we have two vowel sound in pleasant, and Okay, so final answer to this question is definitely option D, people. Question 11. So choose from the options letter A to E the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the letters on the line. Now note, English spellings and English sounds are like twins that never look alike. So don't be deceived, ignore the spelling and listen for sounds. Okay, so let's find out what recipe is really cooking for us. So the word is recipe, letter E is on the line, and it is eh. Okay, so option A, we have A, fate. A, this is a diphthong you cannot separate. Okay, when you see the sound, it's a diphthong. Option B, we have two vowel sound in option B, feather. So we have and we have. So this is the answer to this question because it has the sound. Option C, we have the short E sound. Okay. Option D, we have the long E sound, seed. Option E, we have soul. Oh, it's a diphthong. Okay, so final answer to this question is definitely option B, feather. Question 12. So choose from the options letter A to E the one that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the underlined letter. Now, here's where many candidates sleep. Okay, so NG does not sound like plus G. It has a secret sound that I'm about to expose. Are you ready? Okay, so it is ng. Now, the back of your tongue presses against your soft palate that is located at the roof of your mouth. So when this happens, it blocks the oral cavity so that air escapes through the nose. So it's a nasal sound. Ng. Now let me give you a hack. ing in all progressive verb form is ng. Okay, clapping, singing, dancing, teaching. Okay, also ng. Okay, words that end or have ng usually have the ng sound, especially when they end with ng. Okay, sing, sang, rang, hang. Okay, so option A, we have legion. Okay, so it has the sound, not ng. So examiners want to know if you can differentiate between and ng. Okay, so option B, we have lounge. Okay, so we have the sound in lounge, not ng. Okay, option C, we have obtain. Okay, option D, we have seen. Then we have option E, sing. So it has the sound. So option E is the final answer to this question. Question 13. So choose from the options letter A to E the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. Now, examiners know that you say, I am rounding up my exams next month. We will round up the meeting soon. And this is where they want to trick us. Okay, so in Nigerian context, it is okay to say this. It is locally acceptable. People will understand what you mean. But it is not the standard and it's not a standard British expression. Okay, so let's see if we can solve this one. So you need to do two things. First, identify the clue, and the second thing you need to do is eliminate the wrong options. So starting with the first step, the clue is we need a word that means conclude. Okay, right? So the second step is to eliminate wrong options. Now, rounded over, rounded through, rounded in, not correct. Unfortunately, rounded up is also incorrect. Now, rounded up as a verb means to gather or collect together. For example, the police rounded up the suspect. As a verb, it can also mean to increase to the nearest whole number. So in mathematics, we say, oh, 399 was rounded up to 400. Now, round up as a noun means the act of gathering, the act of collecting. For example, the police conducted a roundup last night. It can also mean the summary of the important points. For example, here is a roundup of today's news. Okay, so when you think of roundup, you think of gather, whether as an act of gathering, which is a noun, or to gather as a verb. Okay, it means gather. Okay, so the answer to this question is rounded off because rounded off means to finish an activity or complete something in a good or suitable way. Okay, so when you think of round off, you think of conclude. So here's the hack: round up equals to gather, round off equals to conclude. So the answer to this question is definitely option A, rounded off. Question 14. Now, this question is under emphatic stress. Okay. So, do you want us to solve this question together or you want me to face my front? Okay, I know you want us to do this together. Okay, so there are four major steps you need to follow to solve this question. And if you can follow these steps, you'll be able to solve any question under emphatic stress. The first is you want to identify the word in caps. Okay, so all is in capital letter. So this is the focus word. Step two is you want to look for a natural alternative for the word in caps. So all is a determiner. So you can consider some, any, these are determiners that can serve as a natural alternative for all. Now, step three is you want to keep the subject and the tense. The final year student is the subject, and you want to keep the tense past tense because we see past, which is past tense. Okay. Step four is you want to form a question that tests the contrast only. Okay. Now take a look at the options. Option A, C, D, and E. They do not agree with step two, which is to look for a natural alternative for all. You see that these options retain all, and we don't want that. Now take a look at option B. Did some final year student pass the test? You see that it retains the tense, past tense, did. You see the final year students, right? You see some, which is a natural alternative for all, and you see that this is a perfect question that tests the contrast. Did some final year student pass the test? No, all the final year students passed the test, just as you all will pass your exams. Okay, so final answer to this question is definitely option B. Question 15. So choose from the options lettered A to E the one that is nearest in meaning to the word in italics in the following question. So Africans treasure hospitality as a way of life. So treasure is italicized. Okay. So I hope you're not thinking of gold or diamond because it is not here. Okay. So you need to think of the meaning in the context. Okay. So examiners want to know if you can identify the meaning that is most active in the sentence. Okay. So option A, despise. It means hate. Okay. This is actually the opposite in meaning. Okay. Option B, depict means to show. Option C, remember is to recall, doesn't relate. Option D, uphold is to maintain, to respect, to cherish. So this is the answer to the question. Option E, note means to observe. Okay, so final answer to this question is definitely option D, uphold. Question 16. So choose from the options lettered A to E, the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. So don't weird out yourself by trying to do too much too soon, the instructor warned. Okay, so there are two things you need to do. Step one is to look for clues. Step two is to eliminate the wrong options. Okay, for the clue, you see trying to do too much too soon. Okay, so we are looking for a word that means, exhaust, tired. Okay, so wear out means exhaust or make someone very tired, right? So this is the answer to this question. When we say wear off, it means fade away. It does not fit this context. When we say wear in, it means to make comfortable or comfy, right? When we say wear up, it's not a standard expression. When we say wear down, is to weaken gradually. Okay, so final answer to this question is definitely option A, wear out. Question 17. Complete the statements with the most appropriate of the options lettered A to E. Now, what's the difference between exonerated and pardoned? Wait. So, exonerated is you were innocent all along. Pardoned is you were guilty but forgiven. Now, let's see if we can spot which one saved Chike here. So, though Chike has been dashed, his colleagues believe that he committed the crime. Now, the first step is you want to identify clues. Second is you want to eliminate wrong options. Now, clue number one is though. Though is usually used to introduce contrasting ideas. Okay, so whatever has been done to Chike must contrast with what his colleagues believe. Okay, so his colleagues believe that he's guilty, he committed the crime. So our answer must imply that he's innocent. It's just like saying Though it was raining, she went for a walk. She went for a walk, it was raining. So though he's introducing the contrasting idea, which is it was raining. Raining, you're not supposed to go out, right? But she went for a walk still. Same thing here. Okay, so let's take a look at the options. Authenticated, to prove that something is genuine or real, doesn't relate. Option B, convicted, declare that someone is guilty. Okay, not the answer. Option C, exonerated, proven innocent. Okay, so this is the answer to the question. Pardoned means you're guilty but forgiven. Okay, sentenced is you are punished after being declared, guilty. Okay, so the best answer to this question is exonerated. Question 18. So choose from the options letter A to E, the one that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the underlined letter. So this question is on that consonant sound, and I need to tell you this, that English spellings will deceive you, but sounds never lie. So ignore spellings and listen for sounds. So the word is despot, letter T is underlined and it is pronounced t. So we are looking for t. Option A is debut. Okay. Option B is depot. Option C is fast. Option D is insane. Option E is theme. Okay, so we can see that we have the t sound in fast. Okay, so that makes option C the final answer to this question. Question 19. So choose from the options lettered A to E the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. Now, this looks very easy, right? And I'm sure you can do this. Okay, so the first step is to identify clues. The second is to eliminate wrong options. Okay, so what are the clues? Robbers at the shop down the road. So we need a word that implies, entering into a place illegally. Okay, so eliminate wrong options. Option A, we see out. We can't say break out in this context. If we had a context that talks about prison, do you understand? We can say breakout. But in this context, it means, entering into a place illegally. So breakout we want to do. Break down, break through, break up. Robbers don't make a break up. Okay, what the attempt is way more criminal than break up. Okay, so the final answer to this question is break in because it means illegal entry, to steal. Okay, so option C is the final answer to this question. Complete the statement with the most appropriate of the options lettered A to E. The dash meeting of the newly constituted Board of Internal Revenue comes up next week. So you know how to do it, right? You identify clues and then you eliminate wrong options, okay? So what's the clue here? Newly constituted Board of Internal Revenue. So what happens when a new board meets for the very first time? We call it validatory, ceremonial, or something else. So let's crack this together in 30 seconds. Okay. So validatory is a farewell meeting. So this is not the answer to the question. Inaugural is the first meeting or first session or the beginning of something. Okay, so this is the answer to this question because it's a newly constituted board. Okay, ceremonial is not necessarily first or last, right? It relates to an occasion, right? So when we say pre-election is something happening before election. Okay, proposed is something suggested, not yet decided. So final answer to this question is definitely option B, inaugural. And that's it, guys. 20 questions done and dusted. Now remember, exam confidence grows with practice. So you need to keep showing up and learning with me. So if you found this video, this lesson helpful, hit the button and drop a comment with your score. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. So subscribe so that you can get more exam hacks from Lexa Academy. Bye.